Yes, y'all. From the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership in beautiful Carrollton, Texas, it is DCTF Live and Internet Show. My name is Greg Tepper. I am the managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football, a magazine, and TexasFootball.com, a website. Thank you for spending part of your day with us, whether you are watching us live at TexasFootball.com or you are listening to us on the podcast, which you can subscribe to on iTunes. I'm still trying to work out the SoundCloud thing, guys. Get off me. Get off me. Save your emails.
Are there people on you?
Yeah, there's a couple people.
I don't believe that.
They're like talking about SoundCloud.
I don't think that's
SoundCloud
true.
is apparently the new thing.
I don't think they're breathing down your neck.
I am sitting here in one seat. Sitting over there in another seat is Max Thompson. You are sitting right there, right? Am I pointing to you?
Yes, right there.
Yeah.
We did it.
We did it.
Yeah.
All right, we're figuring this out. Today is what is today? Today is oh my god. It's Monday, August 1st, 2016.
It is August.
Monday.
It is August.
It's the worst. It's the best worst month of the year because
how did we get here?
I don't know, man.
Every
year it comes.
How did we get here?
Today is Monday, August 1st, 2016, episode 175. 175 number of at-bats for Benji Molina in his illustrious Texas Rangers career. Name that Molina.
Yes.
He hit for the cycle. Benji Molina hit for the cycle as a Ranger.
Yeah.
Pretty great. And he had a big-time postseason home run as a Rangers. And game 4 of the ALCS.
Was that, am I not mistaken, that cycle was against
Boston Red Sox.
Yeah.
And he finished it off with the most improbable triple
of all time.
Yeah. A little bit later, we're going to talk about the Big 12 expansion, and the networks ain't happy. We're going to talk about that here in a moment. And we got a bunch of headlines, including the greatest trolling of recruiting Twitter I have ever seen.
Yeah, pretty great.
We'll get into that in just a moment. But first, Max,
we got something important to do.
We have a very special guest.
Yes.
Joining us now in the DCTF Live studios is young Jake Klanick. This is Jake. He is the son of our director of sales, Rudy Klanick.
Yeah. I don't think I've gone too far in titling him as the new DCTF head of sales, right?
All right,
That's a done deal?
Yeah. Did you sign your contract to be in charge of sales?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, you're about to. That's great. Thank you very much. How old are you?
I'm 12.
12. All right, so you are going into 7th grade?
Yes.
7th grade. And you are, so I have some inside information that you don't have.
Uh-oh.
Young Jake is about to start football.
Ooh, nice.
And you've played flag football, but you never played tackle football.
No, this is my first year in tackle.
All right, so what position do you think you're going to play?
Running back and maybe like slot receiver.
All right, so he's so you're pretty fast.
Yeah.
Pretty fast as well. Okay, get good hands.
Yeah.
Catch. All right, good. This is everybody needs a utility guy, kind of a versatile player.
For sure. No question.
Like that, and you'll be playing for the McCamey or what? Knights.
Yeah.
The McCamey Knights. So keep an eye out for young Jake. But you are also a star baseball player. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so you are, and you play second base. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
I was telling Rudy this earlier. Second base, underrated position.
Tough
position.
Toughest position on the field, in my opinion.
It's not as glamorous as the shortstop, but as important.
Yep.
If not more. So so you guys got done playing in a tournament, right?
Yeah.
And you guys did pretty well.
Mhm. 4th out of 57.
Jeez.
Not bad.
And you're hitting in like either leadoff or you're top of the order, right?
Yeah.
You're a top of the order type
First
hitter.
Or second.
Okay. So how would you assess your game? Are you a power hitter? Are you a
I just like walks and base hits.
On base percentage.
On base,
I like it, dude. That's the
setting the table.
Yeah. That's the that's good. All right. So this is your first. You're going to start playing tackle football here for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Are you nervous?
Yeah, kind of, but I'm excited too.
Yeah.
On like hitting.
Yeah, dude. Hitting's fun. Let me tell you, as somebody who used to play high school football, I can tell you that hitting is fun. Being hit,
It's not.
not as fun. Not as fun. Okay. All right. So then, and we were having this discussion before we came on.
Yeah.
So Rudy is a proud North Texas alum.
That's true.
Proud North Texas alum. But that is not your favorite college team.
No.
What is your favorite college team?
Michigan University.
Oh,
Wolverines. Ooh.
Michigan.
Boy, we gotta talk to him.
Jim Harbaugh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, really? How can you? Why Michigan?
Well, my dad used to like Michigan when he was a kid because
Yeah.
of his dad.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
So there's a family tie there. Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
But you like Jim Harbaugh?
Kinda. I mean, he's
Who
kinda
doesn't like
mean,
Jim
but-
Harbaugh?
I don't.
Really?
He's a
you're
jerk.
You're like the only one.
He's a jerk.
I love jerks.
I know you do. You do love jerks. All right. Have you seen The Secret Life of Pets?
Yes.
Yes. Did you like it?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
2 against 1. Max was
Whatever.
telling me, I went and saw it last night, and Max was telling me beforehand, he's like, oh, that's terrible. It's a bad movie. It's a dumb movie. I came out of it, I liked it.
It was pretty good.
I thought it was pretty funny.
You guys are allowed to like it.
I liked the, I think my favorite character was the rabbit. Yeah.
yeah.
That's the first time I've ever liked Kevin Hart.
Oh.
Yes.
Was the rabbit. The
Right.
rabbit was clever. I think he doesn't like it because the dog was named Max.
Oh.
Oh, it's the #1 dog name in America, man. I'm used to that.
I think
that's no big deal.
I think that's I think because he didn't like being compared to a dog.
Yeah.
So you guys are gonna run out to
Wouldn't
lunch
be the
here?
first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. You guys gonna run out to lunch?
Mhm.
All right. Outstanding. You passed
Yes.
your first
Thank
media
you.
test. There he
Good
goes.
work.
There he goes. Jake
He's
Klanick.
ready.
Yeah.
He'll be ready for the Friday Night
There he
Lights before you
goes.
know it. Yeah.
Jake Klanick.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
That was
There
good.
he goes. All right.
That was
there you go.
good.
Smart kid, sharp kid.
Now
Got a
that he's
future?
gone and you can't team up on me, that's a trash movie.
It's not a trash
It's
movie.
a trash
It's a
movie.
funny, clever, charming movie.
It's not clever.
All
There's
I want-
nothing about it that's clever.
All I want out of an animated film, and generally film in general,
I don't want to hear
is
it.
I want it to be engaging, which it was. I want it to be
Yes.
charming, which it was. And I totally admit, I freely admit, and this is the MO of that studio. It's the same people who do like the Despicable Me movies,
Right.
and Minions movies. They will always throw in, like, in a 90-minute movie, they will have 10 minutes of just pure silliness that is just for kids.
Right.
And I freely admit that.
I think the whole thing was pure silliness.
I
just for
thought it
kids.
was fantastic.
And that's fine if that's what you want. But
I
just
thought it was great.
It did not have the second level it needed.
Man, I thought it did. I thought
No.
there were a lot of little clever in jokes there.
You
that
know, for
were,
someone who is as learned about the art of comedy as you,
that's the joke.
I know.
We are
disappointed.
We are DCTF Live. We're here every weekday at noon on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State and talking youth baseball.
Yes, that is our new
kids,
sweet spot.
with the kids of our coworkers.
Yeah.
You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's, follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's, and of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. All right, Max, million.
Yes.
Let's get to some headlines. And the big headline came down at about midnight last night. Actually, not about midnight, at exactly midnight. Texas high school football practices are underway. Now, let me clarify here.
Yeah.
The rule is, the UIL rule is that you can either choose to start 2-a-days yesterday,
Yep.
or you can have spring practice.
Right.
So, practice is now underway for teams that did not have spring practice. That's what's going on right now.
Yeah.
They could start as early as midnight. If you've ever seen Midnight Madness, it's becoming more and more of a thing across
Yes.
the state where teams are starting their first practices at midnight,
Yeah.
and people come out and they watch. And let's be real here. These practices are not groundbreaking, okay?
No.
There's not a lot of big news coming out of
No.
these practices.
No.
They're not wearing pads. Let's put this, they're not wearing full pads.
Right.
They're wearing like helmets, or
Right.
maybe they're wearing shells, stuff like that.
Yep.
But football is back.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it is so kind of staggering that it's already August. That it is already August. We are now less than a month away from real, actual
Yeah.
Texas high school football games. I'm excited. I also want like an extra couple of weeks.
Right. That's I was about to say. My first reaction is I am so pumped that that we're back in the mix.
Yes.
But
Uh-huh.
now I'm realizing everything I have to get done in the next 3 weeks to make sure that we actually cover the season
I
well.
know.
And oh boy,
There's a lot.
I'm a little nervous.
I know. There's a lot to do. So we are doing all that. That is going on right now as Texas high school football practices are now underway. So hip, hip, hooray. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A link from our friends. By the way, we've got a full roundup of topics on TexasFootball.com. The roundup is up. And our friends at ETSN, East Texas Sports Network. It's ETSN.FM, which I've always thought is a little weird, but okay. Our friends at ETSN have named their East Texas Football Super Team.
Right.
A name absolutely stolen from us. Guys, we had one in 1960. There ain't no beating us here.
Yeah.
But
it's East Texas specific.
I'm kidding. It's fine.
And
they are our good friends.
We do love them dearly. I like ETS. I like the name ETSN. I get the FM part. I understand why they did it back when they did it. Mm-hmm. But I like just ETSN. Sounds good. It's sharp.
So the they go through and much like our ETSN covers 100 schools out there, or a little more than 100 schools.
And they do a hell of a job.
It's very, very good. If you're an East Texas fan, honestly, if you're an East Texas fan, you know about them. Like, I'm not breaking any news to any East Texas high school football fans. They know about ETSN. But they put out their preseason East Texas Super Team. Their offensive player of the year, Bryson Smith, the quarterback from John Tyler.
Not a big surprise there.
Not a big surprise. He was sensational last year. He threw for 2,400 yards, ran for another 1,400.
Only getting better.
41 total touchdowns. He's a Houston commit, and he's pretty darn awesome. Bryson Smith, their preseason offensive player of the year. Preseason defensive player of the year, also not a surprise. LeGarrion Carson, the Texas pledge, and the Liberty Ilo defensive end. I know you are deeply, madly in love with him as a prospect, and for good reason. He is a menacing figure. He is not a guy that you would want to meet in a dark alley, let alone on a football field.
The only Texas high school football player I've ever seen hit someone so hard that the kid flew many yards the other direction. What
I really like about this is that because it's just East Texas specific, they can include a lot of the kind of smaller school guys who do
the hipster picks,
yeah,
baby.
Exactly. Guys like Ted Fuller, the running back from Harleton, Casey Medlock from ARP, Chance Perkins. Those are the three running backs. The wide receivers are Octavius Evans from center, who was a 1,000-yard receiver last year. Damian Miller, who is the number one target for the aforementioned Bryson Smith, and Lamarcus Morton, the senior wide receiver from Gilmer. Their tight end, not a surprise, he was on our super team, Major Tennyson, the Bullard, tight end. The offensive line, Tanner Elliott from Carthage, Chanson Hines from Marshall, Franklin Smith II from Liberty Ilo, Thomas Spann from Mount Pleasant, Kendall Starling from Longview. And then I am glad that they put Cam Holler on there, the Marshall quarterback, or rather running back. No, I guess he played quarterback last year.
Both.
He really does a lot for everything. We don't really know where he's going to play this year, but he is a sensational runner. He's a pretty good passer, but he is just dynamo in space. On the defense side, the LeGarrion Carson, Terrell Cooper from Lindale, Trey Gatlin from Carthage, Campbell Miller from Tyler Lee on front. In the linebacker position, Tristan Allen from Atlanta, Noah Bush from Athens, Cale Ridge from Lindale, and Detorian Smith from Tatum. And the secondary, Josh Thompson from Nacogdoches. Hey, Nacogdoches has another safety. Surprise,
Imagine
surprise.
that.
Glade Waters, Austin Hawley, Colin Hurt from Gilmer, a guy that we're quite familiar with, Javante Mosley from John Tyler. And their utility is Treston Ebner from Henderson. So that's the East Texas ETSN.FM preseason East Texas Super Team. Go check it out. ETSN.com. And I just closed out of my tabs.
Way to go.
All right. Another one.
Boy, you're not happy about this.
No, I am not.
You are not happy about this.
Last night at midnight, there was a rule that went into effect. On August 1st, there was a rule that went into effect from the NCAA that said that now college coaches can now retweet and favorite tweets from recruits. You're thinking, okay, not a big deal. Just, doing things that way.
Right.
No, very big deal. Because this has now completely and totally ruined Twitter.
Well,
college football Twitter. It has.
College football Twitter.
It has. Right. It has made college coaches unfollowable on Twitter. Because all they're doing is retweeting recruits. That's literally all they're doing. I am trying very hard to stay away from recruiting. If I want recruiting, I will go seek out recruiting. Don't come into my backyard. I'm really upset about this. I had to unfollow like 3 or 4 college coaches last night. I had to unfollow them. And I don't want to unfollow. I don't want to unfollow Everett Withers. I don't want to unfollow Gary Patterson. But I had to. You know why? Because all it is, and Gary Patterson, holy cow. Gary Patterson was he woke up at 11 p.m. It's like, let's go. And it was from midnight to like 3 a.m. It's like retweeting all these prospects, all these recruits. And it is, I'm not interested in it. I'm following you because you're an interesting character. I don't care that you're using Twitter now as a recruiting tool. Terrible. And you know I love Twitter. You know I do. Talk me down from this, Max.
You get upset about a lot of stuff that I don't understand, so I really don't have anything to add here.
It's ruined. The NCAA has ruined Twitter.
I think, here's what I would say. If you follow me on Twitter or have followed me on Twitter, any of that stuff, I have a list of people I follow that is like a list of just like general things I want to follow, and then I have a Texas football list. Mm-hmm. And if you're in either of them, I'm still following you just as much, but I maybe look at the Texas football list 2 or 3 times a day, whereas my other feed is open all the time. Either way, I'm following you. This is how I prevent being annoyed by constant retweets from football recruiting. So it's fun. I highly suggest you try it.
No.
And quit screaming and being upset over nothing
Seems dumb.
in particular.
And now one other note from the recruiting world. And
See, but now you're all about the recruiting world with this story.
I'm all about this particular recruiting story.
Yeah.
Let me find the story. Let's see. I gotta find it. What was his name again?
Well, he's from Louisiana, so I'm only paying so much attention. I thought it was a great move, but I don't know who he is.
Let's see. I can't. Oh, here we go. His name is Todd Harris. Todd Harris is a hero. Okay?
Yeah.
So we on this show have a very hardline stance about recruiting.
Sure.
Which is that people take it way too seriously. And that people follow it too much, people pay too much attention to it,
Right.
people take it too seriously.
Mm-hmm.
That's our view on recruiting.
Firm stance.
So Todd Harris. Oh, God, I love
Bless him.
Todd Harris is a defensive back, a 4-star defensive back, apparently.
Good.
Whatever that means. From Plaquemine High School. Does that sound right? It's in Louisiana, and you're a Louisiana guy, so.
Boy, I am a Louisiana guy, and I still have not ever heard that high school.
It's called Plaquemine. Plaquemine High School.
Sure.
In Plaquemine, Louisiana.
Yeah.
Making that up. Last night, or yesterday, he tweeted that he was going to be committing at 5 o'clock.
Right. All right.
Big deal.
Buckle up. Here we
Big
go.
deal. Going to have at the home of the Green Devils. The Green Devils at Plaquemine High School.
Green Devils is a good name. We need one of those in Texas.
We got Red Devils.
I know, but we need Green Devils.
You're right. Okay. So Todd Harris says, he's going to announce commitment. It's a big deal. Everybody converges on Plaquemine High School. Mm-hmm. All of recruiting people.
Yes. Here we go.
It's like, this is a big deal. Apparently
Big
he's
deal.
down to, they even laid out 3 caps. He's got 3 caps on there. It looks like Alabama, LSU, and Ole Miss. Yeah,
Okay.
Looks like those are the 3. And this is apparently a big deal for these 3.
Yeah.
So everybody's waiting with bated breath. Oh my gosh, are we going to get Todd Harris? Are we going to get Todd Harris?
So who got him?
Todd Harris shows up. Drum roll, please.
Mm-hmm.
Todd Harris has committed to play for Plaquemine High School.
Wow. Upset.
That's right.
Yeah.
He called a press conference to commit to playing for his high school his senior year. Oh my God, Todd Harris.
Is your favorite.
Todd Harris, a hero for the ages.
The only way you could like him more is if he was calling the press conference to announce he was transferring to a high school in Texas, at which point he would be ours and our own national treasure.
Just fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Todd Harris, you don't play Texas high school football, and I'm sorry about that. But I am willing to call you the official Louisiana recruit of DCTF Live. Congratulations to Todd Harris. Congratulations.
Sure.
That's great stuff. Apparently it was just coach's idea to do like a team motivational thing that we're all going to commit to our team. I love it. 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 And I love that it's made people mad. I love that there are people who are really mad about this because they take recruiting too seriously. Oh, it's my favorite. It's my favorite. Well done, Todd Harris. Well done. We are DCTF Live. We're here every weekday at noon on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Go Plaquemine High School.
Yeah.
Go Green Devils.
Sure.
I hope they win the state championship. Yeah. I mean that very sincerely. All right, so then one other thing we want to talk about. There's actually two other things. So if we have a little bit of time, we can.
Sure, we got plenty of time.
But the Sports Business Daily, Business Daily, which is an actual publication, believe it or not,
with actual reporters who actually are sourced very well.
Mm-hmm. They have a report up from John Orand and Michael Smith of the Sports Business Daily. That last week we were talking about how the Big 12 was finally going to explore expansion,
right?
Which we are all like giddy about. We're like, yeah this is great, fantastic. It's great for the long-term future of the Big 12. Not so fast there, buddy. The Big 12's TV partners are not very happy.
Really,
I'm going to read directly from Sports Business Daily. ESPN and Fox Sports believe that expansion from schools outside the Power 5 conferences will water down the Big 12 and make it less valuable, not more, sources said. But the Big 12 is financially motivated to add more teams. A clause in the conference's media deal stipulates that if the Big 12 expands, it would receive pro rata increases to its rights fees.
Right.
So what...
Clearly, ESPN and Fox signed this deal thinking, well, if you expand, you'll add Power 5 teams, and we'd be happy to pay for those Power 5 teams.
If you expand, then you're going to bring back in Nebraska.
Right.
Or you're going to go get Arizona State.
Yeah.
Or you're going to go get maybe a team from the SEC, and we'd be totally fine with that.
We will totally pay for that.
But now, ESPN and Fox are looking at this and saying, wait, you're going to add Houston and Memphis and BYU? We didn't sign up for that. Well, you kind of did. That's kind of in the contract that they can bring in teams, whoever they want. And so we know that it's going to be messy. We understand that. That's going to be messy. But this is, in my view, posturing from the networks. That they're not going to pull their TV deal because then they'll lose the rights to broadcast it.
Right.
And the whole point of college football at this point is who has the broadcast rights.
Right.
And right now, ESPN and Fox have the broadcast rights to the Big 12. And so if I'm the Big 12, and thank God I'm not, because boy, that would suck. But if I'm the Big 12, my response is, well, we're going to expand, and you guys can either deal with it or not, because we'll go get another contract.
Right.
You don't think NBC would love to go and grab the Big 12?
It's possible.
If ESPN and Fox are like, oh no, we're not going to do that.
Right.
Okay, CBS, step on up.
Right.
You know, the Big 12 and the SEC, you'd be just fine with that.
Yeah, and I think this is also this is more symptomatic of the place that Fox and ESPN have found themselves in, overextending the money that they put out for rights as people are cord cutting constantly. I think they say in the article, the Big 12 could expand anyway, and these networks could take them to court over the contract, saying this isn't the spirit of the deal. And of course, the Big 12 could go, this is the deal. Yeah. It is in the contract, and who knows what happens there. The worst part of it really is. And I think this is where Bob Bowlesby in the Big 12 would probably get in trouble is if there are power brokers that can dissolve your conference down the road. These are the two. Yeah. Right. These are the two networks that would be fine helping all the other conferences bury you for gouging them now.
That's fine, but I think at this point the Big 12 has to make a stand, and it has to say, listen, this is for the...
I would agree.
This is for the future of our conference. Like, yes, so we can have two different options. We can either placate our current network partners, or we can not exist in 10 years, or we can
make a stand.
We can burn a bridge right now, maybe, or harm a relationship right now for the long-term good of the conference. You have to weigh these kinds of things.
Well, look, and it's like we said, if you pick the right teams, and it's an investment for the future, and these schools all grow and find success over the next 10 years, and it truly does make the conference more valuable, well, then you win out in the end, right?
Yes.
No one's going to turn you away if you are a more valuable, significantly more valuable conference, and these 4 teams you've added have really added value.
Yes, absolutely. And so I think that I understand where these conferences or these networks are coming from, because think about it. They've paid a lot of money. They paid, let's see, the original deal pays $2.6 billion over 13 years. Okay,
Right.
$2.6 billion with
Right.
a buh.
Right.
Billion. And I understand that that's a lot of money, but at the same time, this then speaks to maybe a little bit of short-sightedness on ESPN and Fox's part.
Yeah.
That basically, about 10 years ago, for those who aren't really in the know about sports media, about 10 years ago, 15 years ago, ESPN just decided to buy everything.
Yes.
And they're just like, yeah, we'll just take that and that and that and that and that. And in a lot of ways, it was a very forward-thinking move because then, yes, every Sunbelt game is not on ESPN Network, but it's on ESPN 3.
Right.
And they can drive ad revenue based on that. And that's fine. I think it was very forward-thinking of them. But now, this is the chickens coming home to roost. That you're saying, hey, we paid $2.6 billion because you've got TCU and Texas and Oklahoma and Baylor and all these, Oklahoma State, all these big schools, Tech. We paid that. We don't want to pay $20 million per school annually to Connecticut.
Right.
Well, then maybe you should have written in some sort of deal into your contract.
Right.
I hate to say this, but the Big 12 is acting in their own best interest, and I have a hard time faulting them for that.
It's the first time they've shown a spine in a long time.
Absolutely.
And you got to do it at some point. It may be too late. Look, we may be in a situation here where they're digging the flag in and digging their heels in and saying, we're going to do what we feel is best for us. We have to do it. And maybe they should have done this 4 years ago, and that would have been the time to do it.
Right.
But you got to do it sometime.
You have to do it at some point. You have to stand up for yourself because otherwise you're just going to get walked all over until you don't exist anymore. Right. And the Big 12 is on I don't think it's a real controversial opinion to say that the Big 12 is kind of fighting for its life.
Yeah.
This is a conference that is on the ropes, and if there is a major one of the Power 5 conferences that is most in danger of dissolving, it's the Big 12.
Yeah, especially after the ACC locked up that network.
Absolutely. Yeah. The ACC looks like it's financially secure. The Big 10 is printing money. The SEC is printing money. The Pac-12 is doing.
They're
doing
a little bit of a limbo
They're
too.
doing okay.
Their network is an albatross.
Correct.
So that's a big problem for them. It makes them vulnerable going forward.
But they're doing better than the Big 12, which doesn't have a network. And so, I mean, basically, if Fox, the Big 12's play here is they say, all right, fine, you're not happy with us? That's fine. Hey, CBS, do you want to launch a network for us?
Right.
Because then, then Fox and ESPN are going to caught with their pants down and not have, then they're going to lose. And for Fox especially, I mean, ABC, ESPN, they've got enough rights that, okay, if they lose the Big 12, that would suck, but it wouldn't be a killer.
Right.
Because they've got secondary rights to the SEC. They've got secondary rights, or they got main rights to the ACC.
Right.
They got secondary rights to the Pac-12. They got a lot of different. They got a lot of thumbs and a lot of pies.
Right.
You know what I mean? Fox is basically in a situation where they're kind of picking up the scraps that ESPN didn't have.
Right.
So I mean, there's a reason that Fox is airing a lot of UFC.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a reason for that. Basically, they have Big East basketball and they have Big 12 football.
Right.
And that's about it.
Yeah.
I mean, if they lose the Big 12,
they're
really up a creek.
Right.
So
no, I mean, none of this is imminent, right?
No,
this contract
is all posturing.
Is very right.
And we're going to be talking about it for a year.
Right.
But
it would be interesting to see if ESPN and Fox said this isn't the deal we agreed to, we want out of it, and if the Big 12, which I would be stunned if they had this much foresight because they haven't shown it to this point, suddenly had someone waiting in the wings like an NBC or whatever with a network deal, that would be a hell of a power move. I certainly don't think that they've shown any reason for us to think that they are capable of that. But it'd be pretty interesting if it happened.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I understand both sides of the argument, but I side more with the Big 12 that they've at some point have to stand up for themselves.
Got to put up or shut up.
Exactly.
Right. They got to find a way.
That's going to do it for us.
Yeah.
Thank you for spending part of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell. And, of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Tomorrow we'll be talking with James Lott, the official recruiting analyst of Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Vince Young, please meet your Player of the Year trophy. We will see you tomorrow on DCTF Live.